Imagine yourself standing at the entrance of a dark cave. You look inside, you're squinting, and you see the images of these dragons. They're fierce, massive, and intimidating creatures. You squint just a little bit harder and you notice that they're guarding a treasure within. And as you're squinting, you're starting to make out the details of what that treasure is. And you see that it's your life's potential. Everything that you've ever dreamt of achieving. And to be able to reach those treasures, you have to face these dragons. Now, we all know that dragons aren't real. But I'm going to challenge that. Dragons are very real. And they come to us in the way of limiting beliefs. And they block us from these treasures. They block us from achieving success, happiness, and fulfillment in our lives. And they come in the way of the voice that's inside your head that says, you're not good enough. This isn't meant for you. You can't have this. And believe me, people, these beliefs are far more menacing than any dragon. So in this episode, what my promise is to you is that I will equip you with the tools to start facing your own dragons and break free from the limitations.
Leaders are not born in a womb. They are forged through heat, pressure, and a whole lot of sweat. The Fire Forged Leader podcast serves the audience through exploring leadership at work, in the community, and with the family, using a practical perspective and real-life experiences from the host, Steve Baumgartner, and his guests in the Forge. Now, it's time to enter the Forge with the Fire Forged Leader.
To fulfill this promise to you guys, we're going to have to do a couple of things. First, we're going to have to identify the dragons that we're dealing with. Next, we're going to have to go to war with those dragons. We're going to have to fight those dragons. But don't worry. They're a lot smaller than they look. And we're going to defeat those dragons, and that'll allow us to be able to finally look past these guys. So let's start off with the identification of the dragons. This is really where we recognize our limiting beliefs. So there's a couple of dragons that I want to call out. The first one is the mindset dragon. This dragon fills us with doubts like, I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough education. I'm too old for this. I'm too slow for this. Those kind of things. So that's the mindset dragon. The next dragon is the body dragon. And this is where we have beliefs around physical limitations or health, right? Oh, I'll never be in shape. I don't have the energy. I can't get up early. I don't have the right genetics. I don't lose weight like you lose weight. I can't do that because my body doesn't allow me to. So that's the body dragon. And then last but not least is the spirit dragon. All right. So the spirit dragon to me is by far the most potent dragon out there, because this dragon fills us with lack of purpose. This is the dragon that whispers deep into our minds saying that I don't have any value, or my purpose is out of reach. God doesn't love me. Those kind of things. I could go on and on and on. But the spirit dragon, in my opinion, is by far the worst dragon. So, what I want you to do when we identify the dragons that we deal with, right, that we're going to deal with, that we're going to go to battle against, what I want you to think about is I want you to write down all the goals and dreams that you can possibly think of that you've had since a child. I want you to write them all down. And I want you to think of the reasons why you have not pursued them. All right. The only good answer is that you traded up for something better. The other answers, more than likely, are these dragons that I speak of: the mindset dragon, the body dragon, or the spirit dragon. And I want you to write this down and take note of the things that come up the most, because those are your biggest dragons. We're not going to fight all of them at first, but we're going to start fighting some of them. Many of our beliefs feel true because they've gone unchallenged. Just like that dragon in the dark cave, that dragon seems more fearsome than our minds in reality. The same is true for our limiting beliefs. So, when we think about that, we have our list here that we just wrote down. We have our list of limiting beliefs that we're going to attack, these dragons, and they seem very large on the paper right now. But I want you to stop and think for a second about these limiting beliefs. Where did they come from? Did they come from a specific event or a comment? One that I had was a limiting belief that I couldn't lose weight. I had that for a great deal in my life. I got called fat as a kid over and over and over again. So it came from those comments that I believed that this was just life for me. That's bullshit. It was a dragon that I had put on top of myself. So I want you to stop and think about it. If you think, I'm not good enough, where did that belief come from? When did you first start thinking that way? And then I want you to challenge the evidence, or challenge that notion with evidence. I want you to find evidence against that belief. All right. Mine is that when I started keto, I started dropping weight. I still think that I still see myself as a fat kid when I look in the mirror sometimes. But then I see pictures of myself and I hear people commenting about me and how good I look. And that's the evidence that I put against that belief. So I want you to take those limiting beliefs, I want you to challenge them with evidence that you have, and I want you to put that down beside each one of those. Every time that you succeeded, felt capable, got a compliment, whatever, I want you to write that evidence down beside it. And then the ones that we don't have evidence for, we need to take small and bold steps to start changing that around, right? So if you tell yourself, if one of your dragons is that you're not athletic, I want you to start walking 10 minutes a day. Every step that you take is evidence against not being athletic. It fights that dragon a little bit more. If you have a problem with weight loss, I want you to stop drinking sodas today. Give up the chips. Do one thing at a time and keep layering it on. Every step you take, every action you take is evidence against that dragon. There are only two ways that you can defeat your dragons. The first one is action, and the second one is changing your mindset. So let's talk about the first, which is action. And I'm going to call action the sword because every small action is a swing of the sword against this dragon that you're fighting, against these dragons that you're fighting. Every habit change or new experience chips away at those limiting beliefs. Things like mantras, daily mantras, hourly mantras, whatever. Saying things like, I am capable, or I am resilient, I am strong, I am smart. Whatever you need to do, it's a swing of that sword. Challenge yourself in these small things. I want you to start acting against your beliefs. If you feel unheard, speak up in a meeting. If you feel weak, go to the gym. And then we need to change our mindset. And this I'm going to refer to as the shield. The shield is our mindset. We need to build resilience. It's highly essential for handling setbacks. There's going to be shit that happens, right? Let's not fool ourselves. There's going to be someone who goes, why are you doing that? That seems stupid, right? I have people tell me that all the time. Why do you do all this stuff? You're not expected to slay the dragon in a single blow. You've probably grown decades with these limiting beliefs, but you need to embrace the process. Pick up your shield, pick up your sword, get ready to fight. It's not going to be easy, but you embrace the process and you keep on going even though it's tough. And then you need to look at those tough times. Look at those times when you didn't win and find what's the lesson. And take that, dare I say it, failure and turn it into wisdom for your journey. In jiu-jitsu, we have a saying, and I absolutely love it. I've mentioned it here before, and it's you either win or you learn. Guys, when we attack and ultimately defeat these dragons, the sky's the limit. We have more opportunities in our careers, our businesses, community. We get deeper connections with our family, loved ones, children, wife. Our health is better. And ultimately, we start living our purpose in this life. There's many examples of people who slayed their dragons, many of them which I've had here on the show. I just had Angus, who came to life after having a serious health condition. Scott Mann talked about some really dark times in his military career and the dragons that he slayed to get beyond them. Ben Owen was homeless and addicted and now does great things out in society. Each one of these people had to conquer their limiting beliefs to reach these great heights. And it's real and it's tangible. We can slay the dragons. We just got to arm ourselves to do so. So right now, I want you to picture for yourself what your life looks like with these dragons defeated. What goals, relationships, or experiences are waiting for you on the other side of that battle? Inside of that box that I described before, what does it look like? Now that we've gone on the path of your journey to become this dragon slayer, I want you to take one courageous step today to face your dragons. You've already written them down. You've challenged them with evidence. Now it's time to pick up your sword and your shield and start fighting. True growth begins when we choose to venture past our fears and limitations. The only way to claim the treasures that box holds for us is for you to face the dragons and reclaim your own power. Now, once again, thank you for joining me on this powerful episode of the Fire Forged Leader podcast. If you found this discussion valuable, share it with your network and smash that like button. Leave me a rating and review. And until next time, I want you to keep forging forward with purpose and passion.
You have just experienced the heat and pressure of the forge. Remember, words without action are meaningless. Now, after the heat of the forge, shape your thoughts, quench your brain, then put your new tools to use, adding to your leadership. Tune in next week for more lessons from the forge.